Morning, Mark.
How you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, good.
The sun is shining.
Well, ish.
Ish, yeah,
Been a bit wet.
And here we are at our new training centre. Yeah, all looking really ready to go.
Coming together.
It is, yeah. But soon we're on the road to the emergency services show, which is only a few weeks away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us a bit more. What's going on? What's
Yeah,
the
we're
plan?
doing some big stuff. So we've been asked to cram as much as we can into a 1-day course or training session. So there's two main parts. The first part in the morning is going to be around trauma, extrication, around many of the questions we've been asked around that and what's changed. And it's not going to be your typical stand and watch cutting demonstration. It's going to be very hands-on, real simulation, real scenarios. Then in the afternoon, we're going to look at cardiac arrest and where things are moving in cardiac arrest.
Okay, so a quick question for you. Got me thinking. In the morning, that morning session, what would you expect me to get from that? So I'm engaged, I'm watching. You know, you're doing what you do the way we do it. What am I going to get from that? What would you like me to get from that?
Okay, so I think for those watching, they will get to see how ATACC runs simulation, how we make it as real as possible, and how we educate and teach. I think for those involved, there'll be so much more, because for those involved, we'll be doing some initial briefing and some initial training around skill station type training, but then we'll be bringing them down to the incident and putting some really challenging situations in that they may face in an RTC. We'll go from the simple walkout right through the most complex cases where you may even have to do some care in the car before you ultimately extricate them. In addition to that, we'll be then delivering advanced trauma for those patients. These won't be just patients that we walk out and it's end X. We'll be doing some real trauma care and some real trauma provision and exploring things such as traumatic brain injury, major bleeding, chest trauma, and all aspects of typical ATACC type stuff.
That sounds really interesting because it seems like you've got a whole a wide variety of information there, all the way from first responders, fire, police, ambulance, all the way through to medics. It sounds like it's
that's a really key part of it, John, as you highlighted, because we will have all agencies there.
Yeah.
So you will have to interact with them, and that's a really important part of the session. And we will be doing an introductory briefing on decision making under pressure and how you interact, use Jessup principles, and just in terms of how do we relay out what we need and what the message is and how the casualty is between different organizations to get the most rapid and most effective extrication.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Should be good.
Okay, Mark, so we've heard about what the session in the morning. Tell me more about the afternoon session, because this really intrigues me, because I'm not a medic, so I'm intrigued.
Okay. So cardiac arrest survival, we know, remains abysmally poor. 10% or less in the UK. We highlighted this and talked about this a lot at the Big Sick conference in Zermatt this year. And we talked about what is beyond ALS, what is coming, what is there in the small print of the Advanced Life Support Guidance, what is coming in the new European Research Council guidance. And that's what we hope to explore and to deliver. Some things that are already being managed and presented and delivered by the cutting edge air ambulances in the UK, other things that are very small print and haven't yet reached clinical practice. And we want to explore all that. So the first session is really around, as I say, what is being done now beyond ALS. You'll go into hospital and you'll see advanced life support, but you'll go to other places such as air ambulances pre-hospital, and they're using arterial lines, they're using different strategies for resuscitation, defibrillation, and we want to explore all that. We'll then move into some of the state-of-the-art equipment that is out there to deliver this. Then we'll move on to some of the ventilation strategies that are now being looked into, which may well improve survival in cardiac arrest. And we'll explore that, we'll demonstrate it. And then finally, a whole part of something very exciting, the SPEAR course. It's recently been presented on the Resus Room podcast, that whole endovascular elements of resuscitation, whether it's cannulating the groin, whether it's arterial access, whether it's Reboa catheters, it's exploring all of that and how it may come into resuscitation in the future. So it's a real jam-packed afternoon, from some fairly simple stuff, doing the basics well, right through to absolute cutting edge.
Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds intriguing.
It's going to be a good afternoon. It's going to move at pace, but it's going to cover an awful lot of material.
Yeah, I can sense it within you, this idea that you just want to share it and get people talking.
I want to get people excited about resuscitation again. I think it's all just become a little bit stagnant. outcomes haven't improved for nearly 10 years. ALS doesn't change much in 10 years. It's now time to look at what we can do to improve things.